Hello. Today I want to talk to you about Highway Wars and the different roads through the game and the changes that I've made to this game in the next update. So first of all, to tell you that I did make recently a video that explains to you some of the inspiration for making this game. It's based on an old game book called Freeway Fighter by Ian Livingstone, who is a legend in the video game industry. I mean, check out in the comments below about the link to this video, or and also, of course, please subscribe to my channel if you want to get more videos about what I'm doing and about my game books in general. The big thing is that Highway Ways is getting updated on the 2nd of November this year, 2023. This update is quite extensive. It has over 27,000 new words. It's free. It expands the game in many ways, and throughout this video I'm going to describe to you some of the changes of the game. So essentially, the first 30% or the first 1/3 of this game is kind of like a road trip where you start in one city, in the city of Zamora in Spain, and you have to get all the way to Magas. And this is, of course, a dystopian future, kind of a Mad Max type feeling, or Fallout type feeling. And this first third is essentially just you being in a vehicle and trying to make your way to a certain point. After this point in the game, the game branches out enormously. You can actually go either to different locations and do completely different things. I don't want to spoil it to anybody who hasn't read the book, but it really does change a lot. But the first third of the game, which is on the left side of here, and before the beginning of the game, you could either take the highway in blue or go along the main road. And if you go along the highway, then pretty much, well, you've got some encounters, but eventually you'll arrive at the town of Toro. If you go along the smaller roads, you will eventually, again, different encounters will happen. You will be offered the chance to go to at one point to go onto the motorway or to the highway, or you can continue along the normal road. So there is, and that's up to Toro. There was already some variation. At Toro, though, in the previous path in brown here, you basically were going to go pretty linearly all the way to Tordesillas. Nowadays, I've given the chance to take a different road that will take you to San Roman. So there is, again, now there'll be a variation depending on which road you take. And of course, each road is different. It has different encounters. It has different challenges. But it essentially means that there's going to be more variation if you play the game more times. You're going to be able to maybe find the path that is optimum for you, depending also on which companions you have on the trip with you. After Tordesillas, the game does force you in a pretty linear path at the moment to Simancas, and the reason for that is mainly because there is a main event, a main sort of ethical consideration when you reach that point. After Simancas, there is again a branch. You can go. There is the ring road around Valladolid, and you can take the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. I've long thought about maybe making an update to the game which allows you to go into Valladolid and encounter things there. In this update, I haven't got around to it, but I might do so in the future. I have some ideas about what you would encounter in this dilapidated city if you want. But at the moment, you're basically just choosing which way you go, and of course, again, it's different depending on which way you go. After that, the game is a bit linear all the way through Dueñas, where you pass the night. It gets quite late, and you have to pass the night there. This, of course, allows you more opportunities to talk to your various companions, etc. And there is variation in where to stay in Dueñas. So, now, the thing is, after Dueñas before, it was pretty linear up to Magas. What I've made in this update is that there's actually two different roads. Each of the roads has its different challenges. So there is a point at which something happens and you have to decide whether to take the long route or the shorter route. So I think this is quite a nice thing because it also means that in this last bit of the start of the game, there is again a bit of variation. Of course, after you get to Magas, the game starts to branch out enormously. So I think after that, even if you play twice the game, depending on your choices, you should be in a completely different path, and entirely different things should be happening. But I think this helps. The other big change in this update is that you can now talk to the navigators. Of course, there was a bit of talking before. You could talk a little bit with them. But now they all have their stories being extensively expanded. And you can talk to them during your journey. While you're driving your car, you can ask them questions. They will interact with you in different ways. There was one criticism before that the gunner, the guy sitting at the back with a machine gun, it was not possible to get him to survive all the way to Magaz. But this has been changed now. And you can actually make him survive all the way through the game. It is difficult. Of course, it's a lethal game and there are many ways in which he can die. But it is possible now to make him survive the entire way. So I think that should be quite good. Otherwise, I'm currently working on a DLC for Tokyo Wizard, Life as a Lich, which was always one of my favorite endings. This will have you battle a new threat. I'm about 10,000 words into it at the moment, so I'm quite happy with the way that it's going. And this might actually be my entry to the Halloween Jam 2023 Twisted Mirrors. So I'm currently writing it in a way where I can enter it into this competition and then turn it into this DLC of Life as a Witch. So I think this works, and I'm quite happy with the way that this is going. I'm hoping to have this finished by the end of October. And I'm still working on Hero Villain Armageddon. I recently wrote several scenes on this. The main structure of the game is there. I am incorporating different comments, and I am thinking about writing some new side missions for Hero Villain Battle Royale to make also that game more interactive and less linear. And that's all for today. If you like it, yes, obviously, please subscribe. And